All right. Hey. Ladies, thank you very much. Oh, come on, you guys. Give the cheerleaders a hand. Hold on. Boink. All right, at this time, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce Mr. May.
Good morning, everybody. How are you doing? All right, we're going to have to work on that energy a little bit, all right? I just want to say thank you to Coach Marsala, Coach DeVere, and the cheerleaders. They put in so much time, effort over the summer, during the year, even in the off season, and they do an absolutely amazing job. When there are 2,500, 3,000 people at the game, and who even knows third, fourth week of the season when we play South, how many people are going to be here, and that crowd is really, really loud, you're going to probably be a lot more louder. I know we have a little bit to work on, but we'll get there. So I'm Mr. May, I'm the principal, and I do want to say welcome, class of 2026. I have the honor of introducing some staff members that are here today, but I just want to start off with a little bit of an introduction. I just want to give a little bit about my background. I do live here in Avon Lake. I have students here as well, my wife and I, so we're very proud Avon Lake residents, and I just want to say thank you for everything that you do as you represent us. So there's some important things that we need to talk about, and that goes for us staff as well. And that is that everything we do, every decision we make when we're here or when we're outside of school or when we're at a football game, that's a reflection on you as a person, your personal family, and then your Avon Lake family. So that's always something to remember. We want to represent ourselves with pride and dignity, and even though there's going to be times where some other crowds or some other teams may not be acting the proper way or the most sportsmanlike way, that we always continue to do that. And that also goes in the halls here. We're not perfect. We all have bad days in class, in the hallways, or whatever. You know, we all have challenges in our lives. No one's perfect. No one's life is perfect. So we do the best we can to help others as well. So as you move forward, there is always, every hallway you turn to, every classroom you go to, every office you walk into, there's always someone here to help. That is one of the things that I really, really enjoy about working here, and I've worked a lot of places, is no matter what anyone does here, their role, it is sincerely a notch up above the rest, and that's why I'm proud to work here, and I'm proud to be the principal. So welcome. You have some amazing peer leaders over here. I was talking with some of them here this morning. They are involved. They are the role models that I hope that my young children can be like one day when they get up to the high school level, my son and daughter. It's just a privilege to watch them every day and see them in the halls, see them in their activities, and just the way they treat people. So you're going to be more comfortable with them, obviously. They're going to be able to answer a lot of questions, and they're going to take you around, give you a building tour, and they're going to be the peer leaders that you can go to even if you get a little bit lost those first couple weeks of school. So I'm going to introduce some people now that are here, and I'm going to start with following the PowerPoint. So Mr. Slobodnik here is one of the assistant principals. You saw him out and about today. And then Mr. Vassell is our other assistant principal. He welcomed you. Our athletic director is Mr. Schremp. Our guidance department, we have Mr. Skierski in the back right there. If you turn around, he's waving. Miss Grieger, she's right next to Mr. Skierski. Miss Archer, where are you? There you are, Miss Archer in the back. And then up here to your right, my left, is Mr. Kaminsky. So those are familiar faces that you are going to see as you come on down to the guidance office. Our office staff, I will go in order. Miss Januzzi, if you would please give a wave to everybody. Yeah, stand up if you could. I know, thank you. You will see Miss Januzzi in the main office. Miss Gannon, if you would give everybody a wave. Miss Gannon will be on the side of Mr. Slobodnik and Mr. Vassell. So if you go to their offices, you will see her. Mr. Leal, the guidance department. Miss Petrus. Miss Petrus will be at the front office when you come in to drop off doctor's notes or anything that you come down for a pass. And even if you're lost, just come on down. She'll be able to help you. Miss Klimkowski is not here today. However, she handles some attendance, and she'll be at the front desk as well. Miss Hout is in the main office. And then Miss Mormon, standing up right here, she's in the athletic department. She is also in our main hub area. So she can help you with all things athletics. If there's something also that we can't help with, she's always a good person who knows a lot and has been at Avon Lake for a long time. So I always ask her for advice and other things when I go to bother her. And she's always very welcoming. As we move on, Mr. Vassell is going to talk a little bit to you just about some basic expectations that we have. You know, this is a big building. As of right now, we have over 1,200 students. So communication is key. All of our faculty and staff do an excellent job with communication. We try to, I guess, reverberate that as well from the office. We send out newsletters through electronic means. We send out school messengers, just like all of the things that you're used to, but we're continually doing that as much as possible. So the newsletter is a very important piece of information that you're going to have that goes out every month home. And that's electronically, when I say home, through email. So at this time, I'm going to hand it over to Mr. Vassell. And again, welcome. Thank you for being here. And hopefully, we'll work on that school spirit stuff and you'll get more comfortable, trust me, as you move on. Thank you all. Here's Mr. Vassell.
You go, May. I'm going to say we can give Mr. May a clap. He's a good guy. My name, as you guys have heard through the day here, is Mr. Vassell. I am going to be your unit administrator. I will be with you guys from now until graduation, which is kind of nice. That way I get a chance to know everybody a little bit over 4 years. Some of you I'll get to know better than others, but that's just kind of how it goes. But it gives me a chance to get to know everybody a little bit, which I really appreciate. Well, let's get right to it. Today's a little overwhelming. I understand. I mean, this is the first day. We're moving to a new building. You're now back to being little fish in a big pond. I understand that. But I'll tell you what, to make this better, to make this place feel more like home more quickly, take advantage of your opportunities. And when I say that, I mean everything that's laid out there. One of the stops you guys are going to make on your tours is going to be in the Commons. We have some tables set up for clubs and organizations. Take a look at those. Get involved in those. The more you do here, the more this place is going to feel like home. Just real quick, how many people are currently playing sports or plan to? Show of hands. That's fantastic. That's a group of people you are going to get to know. Either you're getting to know them right now before the door even, before we even start the school year, or you're going to get to know people better. And not just freshmen, sophomores, juniors, seniors, on down the line. That's huge. The clubs and organizations do that as well. Take advantage of those opportunities. Now, I know this is, well, it's a little cheesy. Attendance plus effort equals success. Folks, there's no other way to say it. That's as simple as I can make it. You got to be here. And I know the last couple years have been a challenge for some folks. But you got to be here. If you're not here, you're missing out. You're missing out on instructions. You're missing out on just being a part of the group. You got to be here. And, well, you're not going to learn anything by osmosis. I mean, that would be great if you could just lay your head on your science book and know what was inside of it. But that ain't going to happen either. If you're here and you're putting forth effort, you're going to be successful. It's going to happen. We want everybody to be successful. We want everybody to get all A's in every class, every day. And there's no reason why it can't happen. It all depends what we put into it. Behavior. I am not going to beat this one like a dead horse right now. Because needless to say, if things aren't going as well as they could be, like I said, there's going to be some folks I get to know a little better than others. We have control over our behavior. We have control over what we do. We have control how we do it. Folks, I don't want to see you guys for discipline reasons. I want you guys to come down and say, hey, Vassal, what's going on? You got a piece of candy? Yeah, it's great. Here, go. See ya. If we have to do business, we will. But I prefer not to. And, well, again, on our, I want to say on Friday, on that first Friday, we're back in the building. We'll go over all the discipline stuff there. But behavior is something we control. And I, looking at this crew, you guys came in. We all sat in a row. You didn't scatter yourselves to the wind. I mean, right here, I can see there's a tremendous amount of discipline with this group. I'm pretty excited about it. Get involved. I can't say it enough. Go, do things, be a part of this place. And last but not least, stay organized. Everybody's got a phone. Or just about everybody. As a matter of fact, I don't know if there's anybody that doesn't have a phone. You've got a calendar in there. Use it. If you don't like that, use a planner. Stay organized. Know what's coming. Know how to handle it. Know how to get ahead of it. All of those things are going to be huge for our success here. All right? Now, with the real meat of this presentation is going to be Mr. Kaminsky. So at this point, I would like to introduce Mr. Kaminsky, guidance counselor for the ROs through the Zs.
Thanks, guys. First, on behalf of the guidance department, we just want to welcome you all to the high school. I know we're all excited to meet every one of you and get to know you guys over the next 4 years. We heard a lot of good things about this class, so welcome, and I know you guys are excited and you're anxious about getting your schedules. I'm going to go over a few items for you regarding that prior to your tours today. So just some key things to think about. Schedule changes. So when you get your schedule, we want to make sure that you're, number one, scheduled for the correct courses. If you're missing any courses that you notice today when you pick up your schedule, that would be a reason to get in touch with your counselor. If you're academically misplaced, let's say that you got put into geometry honors and you know that you should be in geometry regular, contact your counselor. Or if you have any other circumstances where you think you're misplaced or your schedule's wrong, make sure that you come and see us. How do you see us? If you're available today, feel free to pop in if we're available in our office. If not, we do have our calendars posted on the guidance website. So if you go to the high school website, get to the guidance page, every counselor has a calendar where you can select a time, and that's designated for you. They're in 15-minute increments, and this holds true throughout the school year. So if you want to meet with your counselor and it's not an emergency, sign up on our calendar, and we'll get that time locked in for you. You can sign up for two slots if needed. If you do have an emergency, pop in and see us. Now, with that said, we don't want you missing academic courses. So if you want to meet with us, everyone should have some time during the day to do so, whether it's during a lunch study hall or a regularly scheduled study hall. So make sure you get familiar with the guidance website. We have a lot of information that you're going to be utilizing over the course of 4 years, but our calendars are available there if you wanted to schedule a time. Okay, so in a few minutes you're going to be released in small groups to pick up your schedule. Just some things to think about. Number one, make sure that you have your 4 core areas on your schedule. Make sure you're not missing a math or missing an English. So make sure you have English, math, science, social studies. That's priority number one. Obviously, foreign languages, bands, things like that, they'll be on there as well. But we want to make sure that we're not missing one of those 4 cores. Make sure you are also scheduled for a lunch. On the schedule you will be getting today, you won't have a lunch period on there, coincidentally. Right now, the administration's working on balancing lunch study halls. We're still kind of getting prepared for the school year. So you'll notice a gap during one of the lunch blocks. It's not the end of the world. On the PowerSchool app, and when you log on to PowerSchool, it will be there. It's just not on the printed schedule that you're going to get. So when you see that, don't be alarmed. Here's an example of a screenshot of Power School, which hopefully we're all familiar with. Again, these peer leaders are going to walk you around. You're going to walk your schedule. If you have any questions about your schedule, make sure that you ask it so you're prepared for that first day. When you get your schedule, 9th and 10th graders, you have to be in 6 classes a day. Number one, make sure that you're in enough classes. Make sure that you're in all your core areas. And with lab study halls and lab sciences, that's where some students get confused. It's all dependent on the day of the week. So the one course I want to highlight here, if you go down towards the bottom, is that biology course. You'll notice it says on the biology line, 8-9 TR, so Tuesday, Thursday, and then 10th period, Monday through Friday. So our lab sciences, such as biology and biology honors, they'll have a lab component as well. So you got to pay attention to the day of the week. So today's Tuesday, coming out of that 6-7 English 9, you would go to biology, and you'd have a double block of biology because the lab is Tuesday and Thursday, and then you would stay 10th period for biology as well. So a little confusing. When you get it, make sure that you ask your peer leaders. That's one area where we find new students and freshmen get tripped up on is that biology lab because it alternates the days of the week. But other than that, it's pretty straightforward. This is a good example of a freshman schedule. We do have that financial literacy course that's new to us this year. It's a requirement. If you don't see it on your semester 1 schedule, it's probably scheduled for semester 2. So again, nothing to be alarmed with. It's just you're going to take it in January. Okay, why is my freshman year so important? I think the guidance department can talk for a half hour or 45 minutes on that, but we're not going to do that today. It's the start of your permanent record, number one. You know, what you do now as a freshman is going to affect you as a senior when you're applying to colleges. And again, these walls are lined with some of Avon Lake's best students. They're very well-rounded. They're very high-achieving. Talk to them. Talk to them about courses they should take. Talk to them about, extracurricular activities. But I can't emphasize enough how important it is that you take this year and set your GPA as high as you possibly can. Freshman year is going to be all about balance. It's a huge transition. It sometimes gets overwhelmed. You might be overwhelmed. Or it's overwhelming when it comes to courses and extracurriculars and everything else. Talk to your teachers. If you feel like you're getting behind, if you're getting stressed, talk to your teachers. Talk to these peer leaders. Everyone here wants you to be successful. We don't want anybody to fail. So if you feel like you're slipping, talk to somebody. Talk to your counselors. We'll get some things in place to make sure that you have a great year and set that GPA high. That's a great fact. And again, the higher you set your GPA your freshman year, the more likely it is you're going to keep it that way. And when you're applying to college in a few years, and it's going to come quick, you're going to have a lot of opportunities when it comes to post-secondary options, whatever path is in your best interest. So it's all about balance. Find that balance. With that said, have a great year. Again, we look forward to getting to know everybody here, and I'll turn it back over to Mr. Vassell.
Thank you, sir. All right. I'm back for a couple more nuts and bolts, and then I will introduce Mr. Schremp, athletic director. Locks and lockers. Ladies and gentlemen, you have a locker here in the building, in the hallway, so on and so forth. Don't try to rig that in some way, shape, or form, because every now and again, people will just come by and they'll open it and go, oh, look at this, and take your stuff. Lock your locks. Yes, do the lock every time. Gym lockers, do not leave anything in a gym locker without a lock. Yeah, I left my shoes and my phone in the locker. Was it locked? That's the first thing that's going to come out of my mouth. Was it locked? Well, no. How am I going to track that down? That's going to be tough to try to find those things. If you have things you value, lock them up. I know we like to think everybody is good-natured and happy. Not everybody is. Lock your stuff. Pickups and drop-offs. Ladies and gentlemen, when you guys came in here, this is the north lot. In through the circle, commons doors. There's another set on the south side, which is a little more of an adventure for most folks considering the bridge is still out. But those are our two drop-off points in the morning. The big turnarounds, north lot right out here, south lot by the caboose where you can see the stadium. Medication in the clinic. Folks, if we are on some kind of medication, something prescribed by a doctor, we need to have it here. And there's a form we can fill out so it's stored, lockbox, nurse has access, nurse helps to distribute the medication. That is something that's important for us as a building. State of Ohio says it's important for us as a building. Make sure we do it that way. That being said, if your mom wanted to leave you Tylenol in case you got headaches at school, that's another thing that could be dropped off at the nurse. It needs to be dropped off at the nurse. Again, the paper filled out, it doesn't necessarily have to be a prescription. Any kind of medication that you plan on taking here in the building, we hang on to. There's documentation paper-wise, and, well, we're happy and the state of Ohio is happy. Last but not least, hall passes. This is simple. If you're going somewhere, you need a pass. Wandering the hallways in the middle of the day where we have no pass, we're just wandering hither and yon, you're going to get in trouble. They're going to send you down to me, and then we're going to have to do something about it. Hall passes are simple. Don't abuse them. Don't abuse them. I mean, you guys are grown up. We want to treat you like adults. You got to act like it too. And that being said, just as a warning for anyone out there who may be doing debauchery in the restrooms, we have sensors in all of the restrooms for vapes. It tells us a slew of stuff. If somebody's getting beat up in there, it will give us an alert. Luck favors the prepared, I want you guys to know. Other than that, like I said, most of the discipline stuff I will save for next Friday. Media Center. This is going to be one of your stops today. We've been calling it the lake. I don't remember what lake stands for the life of me. I was racking my brain 2 minutes ago, and I can't remember. It's the Media Center, folks. There's a lot of cool stuff down there. Your tour guides will take you. They'll show you. We got a maker space. We got a place for you to sit, to study, to relax. Study halls. If you are in a study hall, because it's either study halls and aids, if you're in a study hall, and let's say, like Mr. Kaminsky said, you have to have 6 classes. Well, I've got 2 study halls and a lunch. There's 9 periods in a day. I don't want to sit in this study hall, this particular one. It's just, I got a study hall, I got a lunch, and then I got another study hall. I want to do something. We are always looking for aides down in the office, folks to run passes, do other little tasks for us, and it gets you out of the room. Gives you something different to do. We are always looking. So just keep that in mind if you don't want to sit in another study hall. Lunches are 23 minutes? 22 minutes. 22 minutes long. I stalled there for a second. Lunches are 22 minutes long. I know that doesn't seem like a whole lot, but you would be amazed. We move through the lines pretty quick and everybody gets down and so on and so forth. The other half of that lunch will be a study hall in the gym. So it's a nice little transition. You just go through that little walkway. We're in the gym. We're in the commons. It's a piece of cake. It's very simple. And for those 20 minutes, you're able to, again, if you want to get a little more studying in, go through your stuff, just organize your day. Great way to do that, too. Underclassmen eat first, yes?
Underclassmen are in the gym first?
They're in the gym first. Okay, I couldn't remember. So, pretty much across the board, you guys, if you have 4th period, 4 or 5 lunch, 4th period you'll be in the gym, 5th period you'll eat lunch. Same goes for 6, 7, or 8, 9. You will go to your study hall first, and then you will eat lunch. It's pretty universal, even though we have 3 different periods to do it in. Oh, this is our bell schedule, folks. We start today at 7:45. We've got 43-minute periods, and you can see what I was talking about with the splits. Like 8, 9 down here at the bottom, 11:46 to 12:08. That's half of lunch. You got 2 minutes to pass because, let's face it, you're going from the cafeteria to the gym or the gym to the cafeteria. And there you go. Second floor. And again, your tour guides are going to show you these things. Basically, on the second floor, you have the bulk of your academic classes. Math is upstairs, science, social studies, foreign languages. Those are all upstairs. Downstairs, we got business, English, ooh, that was fun, music, industrial tech. Oh, and I left home economics on there. That one snuck by me, Mr. May. That would be it. That, too, would be downstairs. Now, at this time, I'm going to hand this over to Mr. Schremp, who's going to give you a little bit of information about athletics, tickets, etc. Mr. Schremp.
Thank you, Mr. Vassal. Just want to reiterate real quick what Mr. Vassal said earlier. Back when I was a teacher, I taught freshman history and senior government. So as freshmen, they would come in and we'd talk about getting involved, everything else, and about how fast the next 4 years of your life are going to go. 4 years later, I'd get them back as seniors, and they would consistently tell me, they'll be like, man, I can't believe I'm back in this classroom, and high school is going to be over before you know it. Talk to some of our peer leaders who are seniors, I'm sure they will say the same things. The next 4 years, I know as you come in here this morning as ninth graders, probably dreading that first day when you're in here with all 4 classes, everything else, as big as Avon Lake is, being a little bit nervous. Make sure you jump in head first in activities and everything that you have, that Avon Lake has to offer. You guys are in a great place that has a lot of things to offer. Take advantage of those because, again, before you know it, you're going to be looking at colleges. You're going to be looking at where you're going after high school, and you may look back and say, man, I really wish I would have got involved. Don't allow that to be you. Get involved, be active, and be great role models for everyone in here as well. So, athletics. Again, I'm Mr. Schremp. We'll start, I guess, with equipment storage. As Mr. Vassal said, you do have lockers. If you are on a team presently, you probably have a locker as well, football, things like that. Some of the sports may not use a locker room, our outdoor sports, tennis, and things of that nature. If you need somewhere to put your equipment, you can try your locker. If that doesn't work, stop in and we can figure out where to put your stuff. You can use a gym locker room that's attached to the competition gym. There's some rooms in there that we can lock up during the day. So if you are having problems putting your equipment somewhere, things like that, please stop into the athletic department, my office, and we can figure out where you can put that during the day and have it available so you can grab it afterwards. The locker rooms are open in the morning before school, so when you come in, you can go to the locker rooms, put your stuff in there. Again, make sure it's locked, and keep your things in there during the day. So your school locker may not be able to house everything that you bring in every day. So we can help you out with that storage, but again, make sure you're locking it. Eligibility. Here's a big one. So as fall sports are starting, I look at the previous 4th 9 weeks. So as 8th graders coming into 9th grade, you needed to pass 5 classes of what you took last year. They're not a GPA requirement from 8th to 9th grade. So 5 classes passed, you're good to go. But it is the 4th 9 weeks. Now as you move forward from here on out, it is 9 weeks that we look at your grades. It's not semester grades or final grades. So at the end of the first 9 weeks, I will go ahead then and look at all of your grades if you are in a fall sport, and you need to pass 5 credits and have at least a 1.5 GPA. And again, that's on the first 9 weeks. So some of the sports like girls soccer last year, made it into the regionals, so we did have to check their eligibility twice for fall sports. Football, same thing because of the playoffs. So don't think because it's the first 9 weeks, you're not playing a winter sport, that you don't have to take your classes serious here in the first 9 weeks, because some of these fall sports do push into the second 9 weeks, and you have to be eligible to continue to participate. We do offer a one-time GPA waiver in your 4 years here at Avon Lake. So the OHSAA mandates that you have 5 credits passed. They make each local school district determine their own GPA requirement. Ours is a 1.5. If you fall below that 1.5, you may choose to take your GPA waiver. As ninth graders, if you use that waiver in ninth grade, it's gone for the rest of your high school career. So it is only a one-time use that you can use that waiver. One thing we need to cover as well, eligibility, and not necessarily in grades, but very important to know that you have to be in school 5 consecutive periods on the day in order to participate in practice or a game that night. So if you're unexcused and you're not in school for 5 consecutive periods, and your split lunches count as 1 period. So 4-5 lunch is 1 period. It's not you have to be here first, second, third, fourth, and fifth period. You then also have to go through 6 and 7 to make that 5 consecutive periods. If you're not here for 5 consecutive periods, you're not able to participate in that game that night, or you shouldn't be participating in practice either. All right. Now, if you have a doctor's appointment, you have an excused absence, things like that, then you're okay. But it's got to make sure it's excused. If you just leave because you're sick, it's not a pre-approved, then you may have to miss your game that night. Behavior at events, and Mr. Vassell will cover that a lot, I believe, on Friday as well. But as Mr. May said, we have expectations here of Avon Lake. We are proud of who we are, and we act that way. We take it upon ourselves that we show others how you should act at events and everything that we're at. So just make sure you're cheering for our team. We don't get into the whole idea of putting down other teams and other individuals on teams. So cheer for Avon Lake. You'll have plenty of opportunities to do that. There are 27 sports right now here at Avon Lake, and that doesn't cover, there's 54 levels, if you will, with freshman, JV, varsity, that we have to offer here at Avon Lake in the athletic department. So that goes a long way, too, of getting involved. Obviously, fall sports are already on their way and starting, and some have had events already. Soccer, football, volleyball will be getting going this weekend, this week and this weekend. So winter sports and spring sports, we still have a lot of those to offer as well. If you're not in a fall sport, look at what we have to offer for winter sports and spring sports, because they are working out presently, so you can get involved that way. Ticket sales. All right, I highly recommend we have to offer for $50, your parents can buy you an all sports, all year long student pass. So $50 plus some fees, because we are going all online again this year. So that will get you into every home regular season event that Avon Lake has to offer. So you go to 5 football games, varsity football games. Obviously, that's where we get the most student interaction. That's $35 off the top. So for $15 more, you can go to any other home event. Every volleyball game, every soccer game, boys, girls soccer games, every basketball game, every lacrosse game. You can go to all of those events, home games, non-tournaments, for $50. And then so a lot of times we get complaints about, well, there's the credit card fee. I don't want to pay all these fees. I don't want to pay all these fees. So it's a one-time fee. You pay that up front now, and you're good for the rest of the year. Your parent only gets charged that fee once, and then it's on your phone. You can just get scanned in everywhere you go. So I highly recommend that. It is on our website under tickets on the avonlakesports.com. If you go there, it's on our website. They can buy that. There is an adult one as well for your parents. It's $100, same thing. They can get into every event. If that's not what you like, we do have individual season or sports passes, so you can buy a JV football season pass or a freshman football, freshman volleyball season pass. And those are $15 plus. Volleyball's a little bit more because there's more home events. But take a look at that. Again, $50. You can get into every event. You can go and participate. You can be involved. You can do all those things for $50 plus the fees. I think it comes up to like 53 something. We are no longer going to be selling tickets at lunch or after school. So those pre-sale tickets are gone. All right. But again, it's a much cheaper option to pay the $50 and get into every sport that you want. Okay? So all sales will be online. No more selling at lunch or after school. That's all I got. Good luck. Have fun. And my office is behind the main office as well with Mrs. Mormon. So come and see us if you need anything.
Thank you, sir. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you ready? Because we're going to start moving. Just a few things we want to remind you of as we get ready to go out here. Our peer leaders, we're all along the wall. We're going to start dismissing you guys in small groups. The way we're going to do it, because, you know, I can't say, okay, A to Z, go. Because then everybody would be standing behind one counselor because they're broken down by alphabet. What we're going to do is find what month you were born in, and we'll release you by month. But hold that thought. That's what's coming. Couple things, again, couple more special mentions. We're going to make a stop. Peer leaders know this. We're going to make a stop to pick up Chromebooks. You guys are getting brand new, fresh out of the box Chromebooks for your use. Oh, I understand. But not everybody did it. We only had a handful. You are in a good spot. But those Chromebooks are going to be yours for the next 4 years. You're going to be responsible for them. You're going to follow them through. You're going to make sure everything is set and ready to go. But those will be in your possession. That's going to be a stop today. In the Commons, I've mentioned this a couple times already. Clubs and activities available in the Commons. One stop you all will make. Mr. Slobodnik and myself will be at a table. You all need to come and see us as we make our tours around here, okay?